Hey guys, we're only a few days away, so I just want to remind you guys, if you haven't done so already, make sure you register for our Bridging the Gap 5-day free online trading event. Again, if you can make it live, that would be ideal. That way you can interact with us, ask us questions, and be part of the trading lessons. If you can't, we're going to record each and every session and mail them to you after the event is over, after each day of the event is over. But you need to be registered. That way we know where to send those recordings. So what you can do is right now, register at www.tier1trading.com. Just click the banner on the homepage and we'll get ready to see you in a few days. Hey guys, Akil here. Welcome back to another episode of the Trading Coach Podcast. Today we're going to answer a very common question of, if I lose a certain amount of times, should I stop trading or keep going? Chris says, how many losses in a row can you handle before your rules stop you trading? Let's see, probably about 30. It would probably take me about 25, depending on the 25, 30 losses in a row for me to hit my maximum allowable drawdown. You didn't expect that number, did you? I'd have to lose about 30 trades in a row to hit my maximum allowable drawdown. So the maximum allowable drawdown is a level where you shut things off because things are bad. Now, in all reality, right? If I ever got, there would be some very tough evaluation that went on before I ever got to 30 trades in a row, losses in a row. I'd probably be able to ID something. I'd have to be doing something stupid, to be honest with you. My greatest number was 17. This was back in, I have no idea, 2000, I want to say like 2014. 17 in a row was horrible. Horrible. Fortunately, one of my best trading buddies at the time, he was on a losing streak just like me. So it was, we talk about accountability a lot, right? And we talk about the not just having accountability partners and someone to hold you accountable, but just surrounding yourself with like-minded individuals, right? I shared with you the quote earlier from Stephen Burns about you should the only two critics you should have in the market are yourself and your equity curve. And I told you how I used to go on the internet and argue with people over strategies because people would, I'd share a chart and just because I'm excited about being a trader. And someone would yell at me and be like, it doesn't work. And I'd defend myself and do all this dumb stuff, right? Can you imagine going on the internet and telling someone you lost 17 trades in a row? How do you think they'd make you feel? Do you think they would comfort you? You think they'd wrap their arms around you and be like, it's okay? No, they call you a freaking idiot, right? You're stupid, right? They just drag you down. That's a negative community. It's not a community. This is a negative surrounding. The power of having a positive community is it keeps you, it allows you to survive during stuff like that. Cody had an example, earlier this year? I don't know if you're out of it yet, Cody, but you were on a rough month stretch. and what happened when Cody was on that rough month? He started hanging around the platform more, right? Because he knows he has traders he can talk to. He knows that he's not the only one. That's comforting. So it was really comforting for me. And that was my biggest losing streak from a number perspective. Believe it or not a drawdown perspective. It wasn't that bad of a drawdown. But it was mostly day trades. That's why. But from a numbers perspective, that was the biggest losing streak I had. And again, one of my best trading buddies, he was on the same type of losing streak. So we would come in each day and we made a game out of it, right? I'd come in, I'd be like, hey, Lex, guess what I did? I'm on 12 in a row, baby. Top that. He's like, I just hit 14. What you got? I said, darn it. Right? So we just had fun with it. We made light of it. We were confident and experienced enough to know that this too shall pass, right? And all you can do is laugh at yourself. Like the honest truth is all you can do. I mean, what else are you going to do? Right? If I get frustrated and angry, I'm going to stem some emotions and I'm going to start making mistakes, right? We all know it, right? I'm going to get angry. I'm going to start revenge trading. I'm going to start forcing trades. I'm going to start taking profits early. I'm going to start doing all the dumb stuff if I let my emotions in. So you just laugh, right? Enjoy the pain. Enjoy the misery. It's like being on a bad sports team. Yeah, we suck. Like the U.S. just got beat by Sweden, right? The U.S. women's national team. She just said, yeah, we got our asses kicked. Yep. You just eat it. But yeah, 17 in a row is my biggest one. Now, don't get me wrong. It wasn't fun, right? Plenty of tissues were used in the hours of crying after the live room was off. But yeah, it happens. But it's an unexpected number because I don't have a number. I don't believe, let's put it even stronger than that. I don't believe that you should have aside from your max drawdown, I don't believe that you should have a number a small number where you stop trading. Right? I heard people say before, well, if I take 3 losses in a row, I'll stop trading. If I take 4 losses in a row, I'll stop trading. And my answer is why. So let's discuss that. What's magical about taking 3 losses in a row? What is so powerful about that number that makes you want to stop trading? Now, I do believe you should stop trading if you find yourself slipping out of your trading mind state, right? So meaning that if you get to the point where you feel, I told you guys 17 losses in a row wasn't fun. If you get to a point where you feel like you're out of control, where you feel like you're going to do something dumb in the markets, right? Then you should stop. I used to have a buddy of mine who was very, he would get fired up, right? He would get fired up a lot. And, when you go out and he'd have some of that liquid courage and you get even more fired up. And I was always like, I'm always the responsible friend. Like I'm the friend like the mothers love when they hear like their kids are going out. Are you going out with Keel? Yeah. Okay, good. I trust you because I don't do dumb stuff. But I remember I had a friend who, after a certain amount of drinks, right, he'd always want to fight. Like if someone like looked at him the wrong way, he'd get all fired up. And we would have to remove him from the scene. Like if he has a lot, it's like, hey, let's just leave, man. Let's just leave. Like stuff like that. So if you find yourself in an emotional state like that, where like he's about to do something stupid, then it's okay to have a shut off. Right? That's a different story because now you're at the point where you may harm yourself. But aside from that, there's 0 point in the number, right? So Joseph says, after 3 losses, I know the market that day is not my system's favor. How? Why? How do you know? How do you know? How can we predict the future? How do we know? I would say the argument, right? If we're experience or numbers. So was there anything you're testing that says after 3 losses, the 4th trade is always a loss, or the 5th trade is always a loss? Because I would make the argument with this, right? If we are working off of statistics, if we're working off of a numbers game, right? Probabilities, right? We know our system has a certain win percentage, right? So I always say this, right? And you guys are typing it in already. But if we know we win 60% of the time, and we know that out of every 10 trades, and we know it's not actually 10 trades, we're just giving a easy number, right? We know that every 10 trades, we should have 6 wins and 4 losses, right? If I lose 3 in a row, I've just gotten my three of my 4 losses out the way. Statistically, I'm closer to my next win than I am to my next loss. So when we hear numbers like that with shut off, the way I see it is that we are bailing in the market as we are closer to winning versus being closer to losing. And then what we end up doing is we're taking our 3 losses and then we're missing the next whatever wins that we would have had, and then we're no longer digging ourselves out of that drawdown. We're basically skipping the winners in a sense, or putting ourselves in a position where we're more likely to skip the winners. Now, everyone's system is unique, and I don't know your system, Joseph. So it could be something where it's an intraday trend trading system, and it takes like 3 shots at a trend, and if the 3rd shot if you lose 3 in a row, then maybe that invalidates it. Who knows, right? I don't know anyone's system, so everyone is different. But in general, I think that most people stop trading, or most people create a number. Most people create a number that is their shutoff just because they're scared. There's no statistical or proven reason. There's nothing in their back testing that says after 3 losses, the 4th one is always a loss, or the 4th one is more likely a loss than not. And you can look through your back testing results and see that, right? We have the numbers. We can dig into all the data, right? If you want to go through all your data and say every time I get 3 red boys in a row, the 4th one is always red, then maybe you're onto something. But I would bet a lot of money that most people aren't doing that. I think most people are doing it just because they're like, man, I lost 3 in a row. I'm scared to lose the 4th one, so I'm just going to quit and say that, today's not the day in the market. And this is why so many traders are stuck at break even, because it's self-sabotage. This is no different than you're skipping a win, essentially. You're skipping an opportunity to win. And if your risk reward is the right way, that winning opportunity should not just make up for the previous loss, it should make up for the previous loss and some. So unless you've got a psychological shutoff, or in Cody's sense, and Cody's in a little different situation because he's working for a prop firm, they may have a shutoff for you. They may say, Cody, you know what? I don't care about these statistics. Once you're down 5% for the day, we're shutting you off. And that's a risk management tactic, because you're trading their money and they don't want you getting reckless and doing dumb stuff. So that's a little bit of a different situation. But yeah, so it's, I don't believe in having a set number. I think in many cases, again, unless it's been proven in your stats and you've dug through it, and again, which could be the case, especially you see that more of like really short-term day traders who are kind of catch a very specific move in the market. I think it's usually more of a kind of a waving the white flag type of deal where it's I had enough is enough, and I don't think that's right, unless you feel that you're in an emotional state. And if you feel like you're in an emotional state, if you feel like 3 losses puts you in that place where you're frustrated, you're angry, you're about to do something dumb, then it's okay to kind of either stop for the day or at least take a break. Because then again, in that situation, you're probably only going to make your situation worse. Hope you guys enjoyed the podcast. If you did, show me some love with a rating and a review. If you're listening to this on YouTube, do me a favor, just hit that thumbs up button. And of course, make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel. That way you don't miss the other videos that I put out throughout the week.